On this edition of Dispatch, your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out. Starting right now. You're watching Dispatch, the variety show for model railroaders. I'm Roy Smith. Thanks for joining me. As I said, we have your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out coming up on the show. And at the end of the show, I will give you an update on my series of videos about upgrading freight cars. Be sure to stick around for it. But before doing anything else, a short but important mail call. Recently, I received 3 new freight cars in the mail. The 3 freight cars include this dry flow covered hopper, a bulkhead flat car, and a 3-bay covered hopper. A 4th car that I ordered was temporarily out of stock and will be arriving later on. I want to thank Roy Eltham and Mark Arnold, whose generous donations to this channel made it possible for me to acquire these cars. Thanks, Roy and Mark. I really appreciate it. I will be using these freight cars in an upcoming series of videos about operations on my layout. You can support this channel if you like via PayPal. There's a PayPal link down below in the description to this video. Now, first up on Dispatch, your layout photos. Don't you just love to look at other people's layouts? Most model railroaders do. Well, you can right here on every episode of Dispatch. Here's how it works. You post photos of your layouts on our Facebook group. Then I bring your photos over here to Dispatch to share with everyone during the show. And here are the photos you posted since the last episode of Dispatch. After the show, I hope you will go over to the Facebook group and post a photo of your layout there. Why? Because it's fun to share the hobby and we want to see what you're doing on your layout. I will put a link to the group down below where you can post your photos. As always, you'll know you're at the right place when you see this photo at Echo Canyon on my layout. And now it's time for our question of the week. Here's this week's question. Do you feel that you spend more time than you should watching model railroad videos instead of working on your layout? A bunch of you responded to this question, and here's what you had to say. As you can see, a vast majority of you said yes, you spend more time than you feel you should watching model railroad videos instead of working on your layouts. But you said watching videos is time well spent. You said it's great for improving your skills in the hobby, for learning new techniques, and for discovering new products. Watching videos motivates you and inspires you to work on your layout. It allows you to hang out with old friends in the hobby and make many new friends. It gives you a chance to see other people's layouts. It helps you keep yourself sane during these difficult pandemic times, known affectionately as the showstopper, because the pandemic stopped us model railroaders from getting together at Strasburg, Pennsylvania in 2020 and apparently this year as well. And you said it's just plain fun to watch model railroad videos. Some of you qualified your responses by saying, yes, you do spend too much time watching videos, but you said you only watch the good ones or your favorite ones. Some of you said you are trying to make more progress on your layouts, and for that reason, you hope to achieve a better balance between your video time and your layout time. And some of you said your problem isn't that you watch too many videos. Rather, it's that you spend too much time running trains instead of working on your layout. On a lighter side, Norman Rowe suggested that we should start up Model Railroad Videos Anonymous because we're addicted. Derek Alexander said yes, he spends too much time watching videos and that's why he's going to unsubscribe from my channel. He was just kidding. And Train Man Bob said it's my fault that he spends so much time watching videos because, he said, I upload too many videos for him to watch. Me? Well, yes, it's a big challenge for me too. Every morning I get a cup of coffee and then head straight to my computer to check on my email, read Facebook posts, and you guessed it, to watch model railroad videos. I spend enormous amounts of time watching your model railroad videos. But I spend vast amounts of time creating my own videos. And that's probably the single biggest reason why I'm not making rapid progress on my layout. To those of you who create videos, I'd like to just say this. First, creating videos is part of the hobby, and like everything else in the hobby, it's supposed to be fun. And second, creating videos is a great way to share the hobby, and sharing the hobby may be the best part of model railroading. But sometimes you may feel a need to take a break from making videos. I know you video creators don't want to disappoint your subscribers and viewers. But if you don't take breaks as needed, you can begin to experience stress and anxiety, and eventually you may become burned out. I normally travel to the States for 6 weeks in May and June every year, and during my trips, I don't upload any new videos. In effect, I'm taking a break during those 6 weeks. Well, I couldn't travel in 2020, and I may not be able to travel again this year because of the showstopper. But I am taking a semi-break in place by reducing my upload schedule in May and the first half of June, as if I were traveling, and hopefully I can get back on schedule after that. Well, I'd like to thank all of you who responded to this question about spending too much time on videos. Now, we do have a question for the coming episode of Dispatch, and here it is. Where is your layout located? In the basement, garage, attic, spare bedroom, shed, enclosed porch, or somewhere else? And why is it located where it is? As always, be sure to post your answers to this question in the comments section down below. Then I will tabulate your answers and discuss the results in the next edition of Dispatch. Again, the question for the coming episode of Dispatch is, where is your layout located? In the basement, garage, attic, spare bedroom, shed, enclosed porch, or somewhere else? And why is it located where it is? Now it's time for our big shout out. And our big shout out goes to Steve Childers and his HO Scale Retirement Railroad. Steve began to design his retirement railroad in April 2020 and then began to build it in June after being out of the hobby for 40-some years. He is modeling the CB&Q and other railroads in the western suburbs of Chicago in the early 1960s. He says he's not attempting to model that area prototypically, but instead he's trying to create a feel for the area. Along with layout updates, Steve frequently posts what he calls matinee modeling tips, in which he shows you how he completes specific tasks on his layout. Let's go take a look at Steve's layout in clips from one of his recent layout updates.
Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad. I'm Steve, and it's time for our monthly update. Over here at the harbor scene, we've added a second barge to the dock area. So now there's two barges going through the loading and unloading. All right, we've done a lot of work back here to the Cicero engine facility area. We've added some building fronts back there. We've added a lot more scenery. As we swing around to Downers Grove, the Fairview area, we see that we're progressing on the scenery here as well, but we spent most of March working on this truncated roundhouse build.
I hope you will go take a look at the rest of that video and other videos on Steve's channel. I will put a link to his channel down below. Consider subscribing while you're over there. Steve, thanks for sharing your layout with us. Nicely done. Your videos are fun to watch. Now, as promised at the beginning of the show, I want you to know that I'm continuing to work on a series of videos about upgrading freight cars. My goal is to make my freight cars run better and look more realistic. And I want to show you how I'm doing it in this series of videos. So far, I've posted 3 videos in the series, and all 3 have dealt mostly with adding weight to your freight cars. But in upcoming videos, I will show you how I'm changing trucks, couplers, and wheels, making changes to individual types of cars, changing road numbers, and painting and weathering them. As I create a new video in the series, I am adding it to a playlist. You can go to the playlist by clicking on a link to it down below. And don't forget, there are more than 300 other videos for you to watch right here on this channel. Go to my videos page and browse around. I will put a link to it down below as well. Or you can watch these videos over here just by clicking on them. Well, thanks for letting me share the world's most amazing hobby with you here on Dispatch. As always, I'm Roy Smith. Until next time, happy railroading.